seems like. You remember what happened. You remember what happened. You have to account for every bullet. You have to account for every bullet. Can I do plumbing at dusk? Can I do plumbing at dusk? We bought 3 bottles of water for the trip. We bought 3 bottles of water for the trip. The actors will shoot the film on location next month. The actors will shoot the film on location next month. The shirt I found at the mall was on sale. The shirt I found at the mall was on sale. If I had known you were coming, I would have made a cake. If I had known you were coming, I would have made a cake. We would continue with other platforms. We would continue with other platforms. They were constantly arguing. They were constantly arguing. The hummingbird is the smallest bird in the world. The hummingbird is the smallest bird in the world. If you want to improve your English, you should study vocabulary. If you want to improve your English, you should study vocabulary. Disclaimer. Disclaimer. Shouldn't we work the next day? Shouldn't we work the next day? His relatives were filmmakers. His relatives were filmmakers. Sarah is going to babysit her neighbor tonight. Sarah is going to babysit her neighbor tonight. Separately. Separately. Let's move on. Let's move on. The chief was a tall man. The chief was a tall man. We are astronomers a month ago. We are astronomers a month ago. Could you please double-check the figures before presenting them? Could you please double-check the figures before presenting them? Guard. Guard. I'm meeting John at the cafe tomorrow at noon. I'm meeting John at the cafe tomorrow at noon. How much does a dozen eggs cost? How much does a dozen eggs cost? The cake my grandmother made is my favorite cake. The cake my grandmother made is my favorite cake. They were having a food fight in the kitchen. They were having a food fight in the kitchen. Consistency in yoga practice leads to greater flexibility. Consistency in yoga practice leads to greater flexibility. Time. Time. He was walking his dog when it started snowing. He was walking his dog when it started snowing. No worries, we understand. No worries, we understand. So far, so good. So far, so good. My wife is a driver. My wife is a driver. They are looking forward to visiting the museum. They are looking forward to visiting the museum. We must be prepared for every situation. We must be prepared for every situation. Is their stepfather a sports reporter? Is their stepfather a sports reporter? I like chocolate. I like chocolate. He has been playing the piano since his childhood. He has been playing the piano since his childhood. I tasted a spicy dish at the restaurant. I tasted a spicy dish at the restaurant. You need to explain. You need to explain. I believe that we will overcome any obstacle. I believe that we will overcome any obstacle. I have a concern. I have a concern. The team he coached became champions. The team he coached became champions. When the book is finished, he will have been reading it for 3 weeks. When the book is finished, he will have been reading it for 3 weeks. Haven't I done glazing often? Haven't I done glazing often? Do you have any hobbies? Do you have any hobbies? When did he leave? When did he leave? After 5 months, I am not on trial. After 5 months, I am not on trial. Can't they assume? Can't they assume? Didn't I apply? Didn't I apply? Did he specify the noon time? Did he specify the noon time?